Welcome to another episode of PSLE Science Made Simple. I'm Chen Hong and I'm a PSLE Science Specialist here in the Pique Lab. In this video, I'll be analysing a past year examination question on the topic of Web of Life. I have also prepared this question for you to download for free by clicking a link in the description box below. So, let's get started. Alright, let's look at question 19. Daniel prepared a setup to measure the change in the volume of gases in a test tube containing a grasshopper. Substance M was used to absorb carbon dioxide from the air in the test tube, and it was separated from the grasshopper by a wire gauze. Daniel observed the movement of the drop of red ink for 30 minutes. Now, when you look at the question from the start, it says that this person wants to measure the change in volume of gases in a test tube containing a grasshopper. So who do you think is the star of the show of this question? The star of the show must be the grasshopper. So, when we think about gases, how can we link gases to grasshopper? Now recall, is grasshopper a living or non-living thing? Grasshopper is a living thing, correct? And living things all must carry out this one process to survive. Do you know what process would that be? All living things must carry out this process called respiration. So let's link respiration to gases. What kind of gas is being taken in during respiration? We can see that oxygen is being taken in during respiration. And there must be a gas that is being released after respiration. What gas would that be? We know that carbon dioxide is being released during respiration. And since this question tells us that he is going to observe the movement of the drop of red ink, let us see how can the grasshopper affect the movement of the red ink. Now, when you look at the drop of red ink, tell me in which direction can the drop of red ink move? We can see that the drop of red ink either moves to the left or to the right, and it is due to the change in the volume of gases. So let me ask you, when will the drop of red ink move to the left? Will the drop of red ink move to the left when there is more or less air inside the test tube? The drop of red ink will move to the left when there is less air inside the test tube. And why is that so? We have learned in matter before, when there's less air inside the test tube, this would mean that the air will occupy less space, causing the air from the surrounding to enter the test tube to push the drop of red ink into the test tube. So very quickly now, when will the drop of red ink move to the right? It is only because there is more air inside the test tube, occupying more space to push the drop of red ink out. So let us focus back on the grasshopper, and we can figure out how will the grasshopper affect the amount of air inside the test tube. First and foremost, we already know that the grasshopper will take in oxygen for respiration. So since oxygen is being taken in, will there be more or less air inside the test tube? We know that there will be less air inside the test tube. However, we got to remember that carbon dioxide is also being released, which means to say that this carbon dioxide will replenish the oxygen that was being taken in by the grasshopper, right? And this caused the amount of gases in the test tube to increase. So while one side says decrease and the other side is increase, this means to say that the overall volume of gas will remain the same. And if the overall amount of gas remains the same, will the drop of red ink move? No, the drop of red ink will remain in place. And for this question, you need to choose the correct option that tells me how the red ink moves and the explanation that comes with it. Right, but when you look at these four options, there's not one option that tells you that the drop of red ink stays in place. The four options will tell you that either the drop of red ink moves towards the grasshopper or away from the grasshopper. So this tells us that other than the grasshopper carrying out respiration, there must be something else in the test tube that causes a change in the volume of gases as well. Right, so other than the grasshopper, what else could be changing the volume of gases? We can shift our focus to substance M. Now, can you remind me again, what does substance M do in the test tube? According to what we have highlighted earlier, substance M absorbs carbon dioxide. So we can annotate it over here to remind ourselves that there is also substance M absorbing carbon dioxide. So what does this mean for the carbon dioxide that is being released by the grasshopper? This means that the carbon dioxide is now being absorbed by substance M, and this will not cause the amount of air in the glass tube to increase in volume. Instead, will there now be more or less air in the glass tube? Because carbon dioxide is being absorbed, there will be less air in the glass tube. So after annotating that there will be less oxygen and less carbon dioxide, What can you tell me about the total volume of air in the glass tube? Would there be more air or less air? Now we can tell that there will be less air, and the drop of red ink will move to the left. So, the drop of red ink moving to the left means that the red ink will move towards the grasshopper or away from the grasshopper. We can say that the drop of red ink will move towards the grasshopper, and this means that our correct option will either be number 1 or number 2, right? So let's look at the explanation given on the right side. Option 1 says that the ink moved towards the grasshopper because there is more carbon dioxide. Look at our annotation earlier on. Did we say that there's more carbon dioxide? No, in fact, there is less carbon dioxide. And why is there less carbon dioxide? This is because carbon dioxide is being absorbed by substance M, which tells us that option 1 is wrong, and our correct option will be number 2. So let us quickly check if number 2 is the correct answer. Number 2 says that there is less oxygen in the test tube. So let us look at the oxygen over here. Is there less oxygen in the test tube? Yes, there is less oxygen in the test tube. And can you remind me why is there less oxygen in the test tube? This is because oxygen is being taken in for respiration. That's why there's less oxygen in the test tube, and this gives us our correct option to be option number 2. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you found this video useful, do give us a thumbs up. If you would like to check out more videos by us, do click on the links on the right hand side. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!